Autobots and Decepticons. My name is Somwungry, and today I'm bringing you some Transformers War for Cybertron. And I'm not going to be showing any gameplay today, so I apologize for you guys who are expecting gameplay, but I have this video coming and I had a lot of requests to see what custom characters I use. So I'm going to be going down the line here: Scout, Scientist, Leader, Soldier, and I'm only going to go over the ones that I use. There's 3 spots for each. In some classes I only use 1, some I use 2, and I know the Scientist I do use all 3, so I will go over all 3 for the Scientist. So the first one is the Scout, and I wanted to mention that the names don't really apply anymore. I named them a long time ago when I entered Prime mode. The first one is the Scout, and I have the Null Ray on here, and I sometimes switch this Null Ray out for the Energon Battle Pistol. I don't usually use the Plasma Cannon, but a lot of people like to use the Plasma Cannon. I just don't like that it gives away your position, but it does shoot a very powerful blast and does take out a lot of enemies if there are a lot in the same area. And I use the Scatter Blaster for my secondary pretty much at all times on the Scout. And then I got Dash, Cloaking, Backstab, Fuel Efficiency, and Rapid Recharge. And if you guys don't know what this does, this one increases your dash distance, and this one allows you to bring back your abilities quicker. And then Backstab, it's obviously gives you damage bonus when attacking from behind. And I use the Scout mainly in Countdown to Extinction when I want to carry the bomb really fast and get it out of my base as quick as possible, or just score as fast as I can. He's very good for Countdown to Extinction, especially with this setup, because then he can dash even further and he is just extremely fast. So that's pretty much the only time I use the Scout, is Countdown to Extinction. Sometimes I'll use the same exact setup in Deathmatch or Team Deathmatch, but I mainly just use the Scout for Countdown to Extinction. Alright, next, Scientist. This Scientist class, this Eagle one here, I recommend this for all new players. And I use the Photon Burst Rifle at all times. I always use that as my primary gun. I feel like that's the most balanced weapon. It can hit from long range, medium range, and short range. And then I have the EMP shotgun on for secondary. And the reason I recommend this class for all new people that are starting with the Scientist is because I have that EMP shotgun in the secondary. And as you first start out with a Scientist, you should be worried about keeping yourself alive and not as worried about keeping your teammates alive, just so you can get used to it. And the EMP shotgun is a very strong weapon up close. It's going to take out people right away. And then I have the Drain and the Spawn Sentry, along with the Rocket Sentry, Leech, and Explosive Capacitor. And I always recommend using the Explosive Capacitor when you're using a Scientist, just because you can heal yourself twice, then that gives you 2 grenades. And I'll just go over the Leech. Increases the heal rate of the Drain ability. This gives you 2 grenades. And then the Rocket Sentry is just a Rocket Sentry versus a regular Sentry. And then Bounce. This guy is my favorite Scientist. You'll see me use him the most. He's got the Shockwave, which allows you to knock back your opponents. And I also have the Energon Repair Ray, so I kind of use him as a medic role. I enjoy being a medic in this game a lot. And I use the Amplifier on him, which increases the radius of the Shockwave, so it knocks back more people that are around me. And then I also use Sentry Armor on my Sentry gun, just because it'll stay around longer and it'll fight for me, since I only have the Burst Rifle, and if I'm healing people, I want something to fight for me while I'm healing them. And then the last guy, Scam. I used to name him this because he had the disguise, but I switched kind of him around. I put the Shockwave and the Drain on him, and he's more of a Team Deathmatch guy, just because you're not always hanging around the same spot. If you're kind of going solo in Team Deathmatch and you don't know if you're going to be hanging around your team, you don't necessarily need a Sentry gun. So I have both Shockwave and Drain on. And then the only difference for him is I have increased damage of Shockwave deals, just because I use him more for Team Deathmatch, and I'm more focused on killing people in Team Deathmatch versus Bounce, as I would use more in a Power Struggle, or Ego I would also use in a Power Struggle game. Alright, for the Leader, Game Over. I use him the most. He's my most used leader. I have the Moleculon Bomb. Now I switch this out sometimes, depends on what game type I'm playing, for Barrier, because if you're playing Power Struggle, sometimes you maybe want the Barrier on, depending on how it's going. The Barrier can definitely stop people from shooting inside where the node is. But the Moleculon Bomb also weakens them, so I prefer to have that. And then you have to have Warcry. It's the most overpowered ability in the game. And then use Rage. Definitely always use Rage. Damage and armor buff for Warcry increased. Always use Flak Armor. Reduce explosive damage. And Blaster Amplifier, just because you don't get you don't get much ammo with the leader for the fusion cannon. And the ion blaster, I enjoy using the ion blaster. It's not as good by any means of the magma frag launcher, which has a damage of 9, but the ion blaster is just cool, and it's actually better than what people give it credit for usually. And this is Optimus. And then here's my other class, Zombie. I used to call him this because he would have the martyrdom with the grenades coming out at the end, or the landmines, excuse me. But the only difference here is the magma frag launcher, which is by far the most overpowered weapon in this game, in my opinion, at least for regular weapons. The nucleon shot cannon is obviously the strongest, and then the ion displacer is pretty darn strong too. But then you have the magma frag launcher and the sniper rifle and the EMP shotgun coming in probably all around tied for third. And I pretty much, well, I guess I only use him for soldier weapons, I got him called. He's got the scrap maker, the thermal rocket launcher. I like having the thermal rocket launcher on. Now you can use the EMP shotgun too with this guy, and it does a lot of damage. Obviously you can kill your opponents up close, but I like having the thermal rocket launcher just because he's good for vehicles then, and you can lock onto scientists in the air. I have ammo beacon on because I play with him more or less in power struggle, and I like to put that ammo beacon down, and that'll increase teammates ammo and increase their weapon damage when they're near it. And then of course whirlwind, it's kind of a cheap ability, but I think it's funny and I like using it. And then I use heavy weapons, which increases the damage for all your weapons, so that helps a lot with when you're shooting people, and you can kill them a lot quicker. And then I have flak armor again, and then weapon stabilizer. Now this you can kind of maybe change out. I just have them on there. It reduces the kickback, but you can probably substitute this in for whatever you want. I just have that just for more accuracy, and I think that's pretty much about it. I hope you guys that wanted to see this enjoyed my video. We can look at the leaderboards quick here. I can show you guys what I mostly play here. Alright, I don't play too much Code of Power. Let's see what I got here for Code of Power. Alright, I've played, well, I won 15 games, lost 12, and 7 draws. The reason I don't play Code of Power is there's a lot of draws, it feels like, and it's always a tie game. But it's kind of a fun game. It's more campy, though. Power Struggle, this is my overall favorite one. This is, you're going to see, if you're ever looking for me on the leaderboard, you can find me here. I'm number 6 right here, and I've played a lot of games, over 1,000. So you can find me there. If you're ever looking to see if I am on this game, you can go here and view my gamer card just like that, just by pressing A. And then the third most one I play is Countdown, or the second most I play is Countdown to Extinction. So I played quite a bit of that as well, ranked number 32, 2 days in that. And let's look at Team Deathmatch. Team Deathmatch is probably, and Conquest are probably around the same. I got about 700 games here with 2 days. And let's look at Conquest. Is this Conquest? I've been playing more Conquest. I guess it's easier to get into Conquest than Team Deathmatch, as you guys know. And 1 day, 3 hours in Conquest. So, and there's 757 players on right now. It is a Sunday morning. Let's just see how many players are in each playlist. We got 8 in Power Struggle. We got 10 in Countdown to Extinction. Code of Power, none. Conquest, 33. Team Deathmatch, 123. So typical, minus these 2 on the bottom, but typical amounts of players. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Please remember to rate, leave a comment, and have a good day.